Hi everyone, my name is Ryan, and I just want to talk about the new Spiral Abyss changes, or more like Spiral Abyss in general, and I think if I'm being honest, it's still kind of similar to the previous one. It's just that what they did, they kind of balanced out the difficulty throughout the floors. Before you can just run through 9 and 10. Like, I'm not even bragging. It's not that difficult because before, your opponents are just filled with a bunch of Metatrails and Helitrails, and most of the time you can just bring any character, any main DPS that you want. Yes, you can even bring out Ganyu here in 9 and 10 before the previous patch, because all you have to do before is you just gotta dodge the Frost Arm Lava Trail. But with the new changes, they added a bunch of new lineups, so to speak. There's still a Frost Arm Lava Trail, but still there are Cryo Abyss Mages now, it's all throughout it's spread out, all that stuff. And they added some Heralds, I think, not Lectors. In earlier, oh, they did add Lectors. Okay, they added Lectors as well on an early floor, like floor 10. So yeah, they spread out the difficulty. And I think despite floor 11 having no ley lines, it's still... I can't say. I can't say if it's more difficult or it's just slightly difficult. Because the thing is with this floor in general, I mean not floor, this whole rotation in general, 9 to 12, it's more of like a character check really. Your life would be much easier if, you have a specific character. I'm not saying it's impossible without said characters, but it'll be just easier to clear. So for me, in my experience, as an AR35 player, not 35, 55 rather, I apologize. 9 and 11 are like, you can just run through it, like no joke, as long as you have good characters and a well built main DPS. There really isn't that much difference. As for floor 12, for me, I think I struggled more here compared to the previous floor 12, ironically. Because you can't run anything now. I mean, you kind of can, but for my comps, I struggled clearing this because I have a very specific Hutao and Ganyu comp, so I kind of struggled a bit. But if you're on like a specific character, like say you have a Sucrose, you just throw in a Sucrose or like throw in a Cryo character in first half and whatnot, your life would be a bit easier. Because the thing is, in previous floor 12 compared now, as long as you have like decent mechanics and a well-built DPS, you can potentially just clear it. Like you just have to get used to it, I guess. Whereas in here, you have to bring in a specific element or a character in order to make your life easier compared to last time. Because last time you can just run anything. Like honestly, you can just run anything in that previous floor 12. Now you have to use a specific character. I know I've been rambling it on and on, but that's really it. That's the real TLDR of this new rotation. It's more of like a character check, really. I'm not saying it's not difficult, but the thing I would say is 9 starring this is slightly less frustrating compared to the previous rotation. Because you won't have to deal with double lectors and whatnot. The only thing you have to think about here is just shield breaking. I mean, it's not easy, but at least you only have to think about one thing. Also, from what I've seen or from what I've felt so far, 9 to 11 has slightly squishier opponents compared to the previous floors. I mean, not floors, compared to the previous rotation. I don't know, that's just how I felt. So the TLDR is if you're like a brand new AR45 player, I think you'll struggle here on average. because the difficulty is spread throughout. But if you're like AR 55 like me and above, I mean I am AR 56, sorry, but if you're AR 55 and above, I think the only floor that you will just really struggle with is floor 12, and I don't know, it's a lot more doable now. If you have specific characters, of course. So yeah, and from what I've heard as well is that Envy didn't really that much struggle here. So yeah, just goes to show. But for me, I prefer the ironically, how ironic that I prefer the old floor 12 compared to this one. I mean the previous floor 12. Because once you get used to it, you just run them down compared to this one where you have to like specifically always, do proper rotations and shield break and shit. So yeah, that's going to be it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.